Welcome back, my friends. I have a question for you. What was the rarest electronics you ever had in your own hand? If you have an answer, then you definitely will like what I'm going to show you today. This is YES-1849, one of the latest and one of the rarest computers of the YES series. It is based on Intel 286 processor, and you will not find a lot of detailed information in the books or in internet about it. All of them were made in Belarus, and starting from 1990 they were produced not more than 5,000 of them, and more than 90% of that number is already gone. Why? You will see later. So frankly speaking, it took me more than 3 years to find this machine, and this one is in nearly perfect shape. Before we continue, like this video and subscribe to my channel. This is your chance to see a truly unique stuff like this, and more likes means more food for my cat. Let me give you a little background. So, in 1980, Soviet engineers successfully cloned an Intel 8086. They created a chip called KR1810VM86. Looks like the task to create a clone of 286 was way more complex. There is a rumor there exists some mysterious chip called KR1847VM286, but honestly, I do not know anyone who actually saw it. YES-1849 uses both foreign and domestic components. This is because in the end of its history, when the Soviet Union could already import some foreign components, there was made a decision to use original Intel processors and chipsets, and other elements remained local. So let's open and take a look inside. The first thing you see is that everything actually looks pretty familiar. There is a motherboard and a set of standard form factor ISA boards. If you look at earlier YES machines like this YES-1841 from 1987, they featured ISA bus as well, but everything was made in own form factor, so you could not use any side-produced boards. In this one, you can put everything made anywhere in the world and it will work. At the first glance, the power supply also looks pretty usual, except it uses 220 volts fan, and itself it's slightly taller. The motherboard connector is slightly different, it has 14 pins instead of 12, but it's possible to power it all up using the standard AT power supply using some cheating. Basically you will use a little bit less pins of the motherboard connector. But there is an interesting detail, because this rightmost board is for the processor and the RAM, so they are not installed on the motherboard itself. The motherboard is not a kind of ISA backplane, because the processor board has a proprietary connector and can be installed only in that position. I will unscrew all of this so we can take a closer look. And as soon as we remove all the boards, you will understand why not so many of these computers actually remained, because all of this is gold in a pretty massive quantity. This is how the boards look like. All of them are 9-layered. And this is a processor board. Here we have 286 processor, a chipset and a slot for arithmetical coprocessor, as well as hardwired RAM. Maximum capacity is up to 7 MB. The EGA graphic card is fully made with Soviet chips, many of which are actually also clones. And these 4 chips are actual GPU and separate controllers for the graphics, attributes and virtual memory. There are a few ROM chips flashed with a Cyrillic encoding in addition to the Latin one, so I actually decided to try this graphic card in a Western PC and have to say it works excellent, but instead of pseudographic it used some capital letters of Cyrillic alphabet. And in opposite way you can install a Western VGA card into YES-1849 as well and it will work. This is the external ports controller that provides a common LPT ports. Connectors here are already compatible with the Western hardware, because in the previous models of YES you would likely find V24 current loop ports or ISFF interface, and connectors would be slightly different, but here you can just plug a COM mouse and you go. In its factory configuration, YES-1849 generally used either Japanese or Taiwanese disk drives, which is pretty different from the Bulgarian that were popular for previous models. I decided not to take out the drives controller, but apart from its Soviet chips and cables, it looks pretty usual. You can connect here 2 floppy disk drives and a hard drive with maximum capacity of 40 MB. Right now this machine needs some minor maintenance, and I believe in a couple of weeks I will make it, and then I will post a new video with a test run, and we also will try some genuine Soviet software. So thank you for watching, Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next videos.